My name is Goel. I am the CEO and founder of Fresh City Farms here in the city of Toronto. We operate a 11-acre urban farm right here in the city of Toronto, and as well as a bakery called Mabel's Bakery, as well as a butcher called the Healthy Butcher. Now, when I started Fresh City 10 years ago, one of the things I was very, very obsessed with was this idea of packaging. How can we reduce how much packaging we use? And so for the better part of the first few months of the business, I was looking for a package that we could use to deliver our CSA boxes, our community shared agriculture boxes. And what I came up with was using one of these guys, which is an old world wine box. About 6 Bordeaux wines could fit in here. And the cool thing was here in Toronto, the LCBO has its big warehouse, and they would, every week empty out the bottles of wine that the good people of Ontario would drink and leave out a whole pallet of these boxes. So we'd pick up these boxes, fill up produce in them, deliver them to our customers, and then the next week pick up the empty ones and deliver a new full one. So it's something that I've become really sort of obsessed with from the packaging perspective. And we've learned a lot over the last 10 years, and I think that's a theme that Chantal kind of touched on, is that this requires a lot of experimentation and being modest and being humble about what you can achieve and constantly testing your assumptions. But I think we've learned a lot in terms of what works, and some themes that I feel are certainly underrepresented in the dialogue around certainly circular packaging. And I'll leave the other speakers to talk a bit about the policy frameworks and the wider kind of macroeconomic impacts of the circular economy. But me as a business person, as an entrepreneur, as a practitioner, I feel there's 3 themes that I would like to see discussed a bit more. First of all, beauty. Here we got one of our Fresh City salad jars that we deliver to our customers or sold through our stores. And one thing we've looked at, over and over again when we think about packaging is how can we leverage the circularity of the packaging, so meaning it could be reused over and over again, into creating a thing of beauty. And I think that's one thing that processors, retailers often underestimate what an impact it can have and how their product looks like. So for us, it's created a bit of an iconic product in a way, where that's really a big part of where our brand identity comes from and what people know us for. So that's number 1, aesthetics and beauty. Number 2 is function. Circular packaging can be much more robust and can provide a lot more protection for the product. So for example, in our case, we deliver the salads, as I mentioned, in the salads we send out in jars. A lot of our packaging is reused. So for example, we have totes that are delivered to the customer and then returned for the cooler, to keep the product a bit cooler. So it maintains the cold chain better. So in many cases, and this isn't a knee-jerk thing, I think you really have to think through very carefully about the product you're sending out and the characteristics. But in many cases, circular approach to packaging can also provide better function for the packaging at hand. And the last one, and probably the closest to my heart, certainly, and our heart as a company, Fresh City, is the concept of community. We live in a society where most commerce is very transactional, but paradoxically, a lot of leading business models, a lot of leading business thinkers, and certainly business leaders are aiming for a more community mindset to how to do business. Essentially, they want customers to come back again and again. They don't want this to be just one-off transaction. And that goes to whether you're a bank or whether you're a grocery store, such as ourselves. And what circular packaging really gets you is this idea that this is not just a one-off transaction between the retailer and the customer. It's something that can happen in perpetuity, something that can happen over and over again. So for example, with our jars, there's the community feel of somebody coming back to one of our stores and returning a jar to get their deposit back, or of course, putting it back into their box that we pick up the next time we deliver a full box. So if you think about a lot of the themes around retail, whether it's increasing foot traffic or creating membership like Amazon Prime, for example, or increasing retention. A lot of these can be buttressed ultimately with a circular economy approach to packaging. And for us as an urban farm, farming right here in the city of Toronto, the idea of cycles is really inherent in what we do. So we see it in nature, day to day, and that's really what inspires us. Thank you very much.